Welcome to Success in Business. I'm Marty Moak, Member and Guest Services Manager for the Greater Burlington Partnership. Today, our presenter is Janine Clover, Regional Director of the Iowa Small Business Development Center at Southeast Community College. Janine has been with SCC and the America's Small Business Development Center, Iowa, for 20 years. Prior to this, she has worked in various industries, including retail, manufacturing, transportation, construction, banking, and service. She owns an income tax and bookkeeping business and rental property management business. She and her husband have 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and a great grandchild. Janine volunteers with her church, Des Moines County Master Gardeners, Junior Achievement, Downtown Partners, and Keokuk Main Street. When she's not working, you'll find Janine gardening, camping, fishing, and playing with her grandkids. Please welcome Janine Clover.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and thank you, Greater Burlington Partnership, for inviting me. We are going to go ahead and talk a little bit today about the Small Business Development Center. Let me get my cursor. There we go. There's my contact information. I'm going to put that up right away. I'm here at Southeastern Community College, which I'm actually located downtown right next to the Greater Burlington Partnership. So they have been great neighbors of ours for about 16 years now. And I just have my contact information there up on the screen. I want to just talk a little bit about what the SBDC is. It's an acronym, and it means the Small Business Development Centers, which we are actually part of the SBA partnership programs. So I believe last May, Joe Eckert from the SBA up in Cedar Rapids had presented and had talked a little bit about SBDCs and SCORE and the various agencies and programs that SBA puts on. And so, yes, I am part of that program, of the SBA program. And really, we're hosted by various universities, colleges, economic development agencies, and private sector organizations all around our state of Iowa and throughout the country. So you could travel over to California, travel over to New York State, and you would find an SBDC. And our mission simply is just to help and grow small business. So pretty easy mission statement. So yes, I'm part of the SBA partner programs. And I know you got to hear a little bit about SCORE last time when Joe was presenting, but really SCORE is a great program. It's available to anyone. What I really like about the SCORE program is that they have great webinars. You can access webinars live, like something like today, or archived. So it's really a nice place for learning more about your small business. They have great mentors. You can hook up with a SCORE mentor either virtually or in person. And I believe our closest center is up in the Quad Cities for SCORE. The Women's Business Center, another SBA program, is housed in Des Moines. They're at the Iowa Center for Economic Success. And again, a very good program. They have a lot of educational programs, one-on-one counseling. Again, that program is free to any of you. And then this is where the America's SBDC Iowa falls in. Again, we are a one-on-one counselor. We do a lot of education, resource outreach, and I'll get into a little bit more of that here in just a little bit. So we also, as an SBDC, we're part of an association, the Association of Small Business Development Centers. This is our logo, and a lot of the other states will have their state right underneath that logo so that you know if you did travel to a different state that you could find that SBDC resource. So I wanted to give a little history lesson this afternoon while you're having lunch on who started the SBDC network and when. And this picture here that I have is of our state director, Lisa Shimkat. She's on the right. And one of our clients that were actually honored up in Washington, D.C. a few years ago for their business WEN Technologies. So we're going to talk a little bit about how this all got started. And I believe some of you might be Iowa State fans. I might get in trouble for using their logo. But our SBDC program is housed up in Ames. And it all began with these land grant university programs that were meant for farmers that Congress had put into place several years ago, back in the 70s. And these land grant programs were very popular. So Congress got back together and said, hey, we should have a university business center out there for people, for small businesses to be able to utilize. So congressmen got together, they had 10 piloted programs, and they piloted this program, federal government giving some money to the universities to have these development centers. And then back in during former President Carter's time, he went ahead and signed into bill what we now have as the small business development centers. So Iowa wasn't on board right away. The gentleman to the right, Neil Smith, is actually the person that's been responsible for bringing the SBDCs to Iowa. So back in 1985, SBDC was born in Iowa. Now, we have 15 centers around the state. I know this is kind of a hard map to read, but it just shows that all the centers that are available, we cover all the 99 counties in Iowa. So the program, we are actually celebrating our 40th year here in Iowa for our program. I think I'd said 1985. It should be 1983 when the program began. And a little history on the program here at SCC, we were actually part of Indian Hills until 1987. Deb Dalzell was our first director here at SCC. She was actually housed in the library on campus in West Burlington in what is now a closet. And she was our director until 1999. And Deb Dalzell was diagnosed with cancer, and she had passed away in 1999. We do have an award in her memory for women entrepreneurs, and we've had 3 winners from our area over the last 20 years. So it's kind of a neat tribute to her. She was our very first director here. We had a director from 1999 till 2001, and then in 2001, I came on board for the program. So the SBDCs are a trusted resource. We're here to provide support that is confidential to all of you, to all the businesses. We're an independent outside source. That means I'm not an SCC program. I'm an SBDC program. And so my direction really does come from the SBA and from our lead office in Ames. We're research-based. We use a lot of resources from the IRS, from the Iowa Secretary of State, and there's no cost to the small business owner for our services. We're paid for by taxpayer dollars. So I guess in reality, then we could say that you are paying for the program in a very indirect way. So here's just a little breakdown on how we're funded. We're funded by federal and state tax dollars. 65% of that comes from the federal and state. And the host, SCC, or CBIZ, which is the non-credit side of SCC, does put in a 35% match for the program. So you can see that with our funding, the funding was written in by Congress, matched by the state, and matched by the host. And that's how we can provide those services to the small business owners at no cost. So this is probably one of my slides that has the most words on it. So what does an SBDC do? Well, we really do 3 things. We do counsel and advising, educating, and connecting. So I think our strongest suit is the one-on-one counseling that we provide to the small business owners. we sit down face to face right across the table and work on either helping you to get your business started, educating you on whatever it is that you need, helping you grow your business, getting you ready to go to your lender, to have the documents ready to go to your lender, to help with growth, to help with human resources, just all kinds of things that we can help with. We also do a lot of workshops and education. Sometimes I will do some workshops around the state in regards to QuickBooks. That just happens to be my expertise, and it is actually a lot of fun to meet the other businesses from around the state. We do a lot of connecting. One of the things we want to do is connect people with local resources, such as the Chamber of Commerce, the Main Street organizations that we have in Southeast Iowa and here in Burlington, the Extension Office, the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning, a very good source of funding and other resources there. So we want to make sure that small business owners know that those resources are available to them. There's also some really good state resources. We have a targeted small business program through the Iowa Department of Economic Authority, and that is a program for women-owned, minority-owned, or someone with a disability. And there's two components to that program. One is funding, and the other one is state procurement, selling goods and services to the state. So this program has been around for about 20 years, and we don't always talk about that program, but it is available for small businesses. Another program we have is Iowa SourceLink. Very good website. The website is hosted through the University of Northern Iowa. All kinds of information and resources and guides on starting a business, on funding, on legal issues, taxes. They host the Iowa Department of Revenue tax webinars. Very, very good resource that all of you are invited to tap into. We have other resources with the state. There's credit repair programs that we can work with. Just a number of programs that are out there. And then our federal resources really with SCORE, with government procurement, with the IRS. So there's so many resources that we can help you to tap into. So who do we help? Well, we help existing business owners. SBA definition is anywhere from 1 to 499 employees. We help them with growth management, exiting their business. And I work in the 4-county area of Southeast Iowa, but I do have some people that come over from Illinois and from Missouri because of our uniqueness here in the corner. With existing businesses, a lot of times with growth, it might be, gosh, we're ready to purchase a building. We're ready to add employees. A lot of times with management questions, it might be, how do I manage these employees? What more could I do for these employees? What are some more operational things that I could do? What could I do with my bookkeeping system? Or how could I get better at QuickBooks or any other type of bookkeeping system? What else do I need to know about taxes? I just want to learn a little bit more about taxes. So those are a few of the things that we can do with those existing business owners. And probably one of the newest offerings that we have is exit planning, exit strategies. We actually have 2 CPAs that are actually retired SBDC personnel. They used to be directors that can actually do business valuation for your business. What they do is they'll need like your last 3 years tax returns, and we have a questionnaire that you fill out, and they can give you an idea of the value of your business if you're getting ready to sell. Now, we never want to take away from your CPA, your attorneys, your tax people. You're going to need those people in your exit strategies. You're going to need to take the valuation and say, CPA, what else? What am I missing? At least now I have an idea, but what are your thoughts? What's going to happen when I do sell this business? Because I'll probably have some taxes that aren't going to be owed. So We as an SBDC do not want to take away from those folks. They are very valuable folks to your business, but we wanted to enhance that offering so that people can have an idea of what their business is valued at, to get an idea and to really think about what they're going to be selling that business for and what exactly they are selling. And then, of course, we work with those people that are just thinking about or just starting a small business. So we also work indirectly. Really, I'm working with lenders all the time, helping their clients to understand their financials, to get their books in order, to maybe find or help them find a CPA, bookkeeping people, working with them all the time. Working with the Chamber of Commerce, with economic development, with the cities and counties, the Council of Government, the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission. I work quite a bit with them. We work with the other folks in the business community. And then we have all these state and local resources that we can also bring in when we need to bring those folks in. So what kind of topics do we work with? Well, I've already mentioned a few of them, and here's just a laundry list, just about anything business related. My specialty is QuickBooks, just because I've used it since the software actually first came out. So I do a lot with QuickBooks. We have one other SBDC person on the other side of the state that also is very proficient with QuickBooks. We have a person that's very good with online stores and websites. I tap into her expertise quite a bit to help clients out. We have a gentleman that works with Amazon, selling to Amazon, manufacturing. He's been in that realm. So all of our small business counselors are people that I can even tap into to help you, the small business owner. And they all have unique expertise, and I use them and they use me. So we are really a good team together. So how are we measured? If I'm receiving federal and state tax dollars, I'm going to be measured. And the SBA will set our state goals, and then our state lead center in Ames will go ahead and divide out those goals amongst our 15 centers. So this is just a snapshot of the goals that I have for fiscal year 2022. Fiscal year, we start collecting this type of information in October. That's the federal fiscal year, and we end in September 30th. So we measure job creation, how many folks we counsel, counseling hours, funding that they receive or capital that they've put into their business, jobs supported, meaning current businesses that have employees that we've worked with, and new business starts. So those are my goals for this year. The clock is ticking. I have 6 weeks to complete my goals. But actually, these are my goals as of the beginning of August, and I have completed my goals. It's a busy office. Busy thanks to all of you and thanks to all your referrals. So this just gives you an idea of what our region looks like right now. 175 clients counseled, 11 business starts, 92 jobs created. And how we collect this information is we don't just make it up. We can't do that. We actually ask our clients to either fill out a Google survey form that we have, or we have paper and pen. And they actually say, yes, this is how many employees I have. This is my sales increases or my capital infusion. So they sign and date that document. They validate this information. We cannot make it up. There was a SBDC in a different state that got into a little bit of trouble because their milestones were not validated. So it's something we want to do so that our network here in Iowa can stay accredited and stay relevant and stay in the good graces of the SBA. Sales increases is not something that the SBA looks at, but we look at it as a state agency, or to be able to report that back to the state of Iowa, because they are putting some funding into our program. So it's always good to see that, because we will have sales tax dollars from those sales increases. So I would like to just share with you 3 stories. We call them the people behind the numbers that I just showed you. I've changed their names. I think of Dragnet to protect the innocent. And that's because of our confidentiality. But let's go ahead. I'm going to share with you the 3 stories. I have one on business growth, one on exit strategy, and one on a startup. So the first person, Susie, she has 11 employees, about $450,000 in sales, and she would like to buy the building that she is currently leasing from. Well, her lender said, okay, I'd like you to go and work with the SBDC to put together the financial projection, the business plan, the assumptions, the application, to get all those documents ready. Well, this client, she was a client since startups. So we've already had a relationship, and I knew that she was looking at wanting to do this. So we worked, and we probably worked together for, honestly, 4 or 5 months to put everything together and to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. So none of this really ever happens overnight. It's a process, and we've just got to take it one step at a time. So what we did was we did put together a financial projection showing what's going to happen when we purchase the building. Revenue will look different, and expenses. And what will it look like if we just continue to lease the building? Now, what was really interesting about this project is that this person had the opportunity to lease out additional spaces, which means additional revenue, which meant that that could cover the purchase, the payment that was going to the bank. So that was really the angle that we were looking at to present to the bank. We worked with the lender and we worked with the revolving loan fund to fund the project. So I had to have the client sign, yes, it's okay for you to share information with your lender, with the lender, and with the revolving loan fund. I had to have their permission because I have to keep all their information confidential. The result was that Susie was able to purchase the building, which added the rental income, which pays for the mortgage, which saved her money because now she had other people paying for her building in reality. Susie had an increase in sales because she did open up some more space. So that created an opportunity for more capacity and for increase in sales. She also had job creation. She added 3 more staff because of this new space. And this was the most fun part. There were 2 more businesses that were created, brand new businesses, to fill in 2 additional rental spaces that she had, also creating jobs, also creating capital infusion, also showing sales increases. So all this information, it's economic development. This is the information that we're collecting just so that we can go back and show our funding partners that we are doing our job and we're helping the community with that economic development. So it was really a fun project, and I get very excited when I get to see people be successful in all of this. Now, Jane is a business succession story. She had 16 employees, about 1.4 million in sales. She was ready to sell and retire, but she had a buyer in mind. She had a key employee that wanted to buy the business from her. And she actually had 2 locations, 2 buildings that she owned that she was selling along with the business. So she did want to go ahead and utilize our business valuation service so that she could have an idea of what her business was worth. She wanted me to help the employee can you help her with funding, putting a business plan together, putting those projections together? And I said, yes, absolutely. I will be happy to help her. And the referral was that this was a current client of mine that I got to work with from startup. So looking back, I just so enjoy being able to see how she had started her business. She literally started her business out of her home. Now has 2 buildings that she's ready to sell and employees, and she's able to pass this on to an employee. So what we did was we did the business evaluation, and then the accountant from Ames that did the valuation actually discussed the results with Jane and her accountant. They got on a Zoom call and talked about the results. I worked with the employee just to put together a financial plan and different options for financing, and then to put a business plan together to match that financial plan. And as a result, the business was sold to the employee. Now, the employee was able to buy one building, but is leasing the building from the owner. A lot of times in these types of situations, the seller will do what we call seller financing. They'll have to, so the seller is receiving the lease payments until the small business owner is able to purchase that building from them. And it's all in their agreements. And we were able to retain 15 jobs. So that was a real win-win in this situation. The last example that I have is Jamie. Jamie is a startup business. Jamie works as a hairstylist. Jamie wants to go into business for himself, but he didn't have a lot of money for what he needed. He didn't have a lot of knowledge on starting a business. He knew how to cut hair. He was very good at it. So another business owner had referred him over to the SBDC and said, hey, go see what they can do to help you out. So Jamie came in and we talked about legal entities, single member LLC versus a sole proprietorship. What does that look like? What's it going to take? How do you get that LLC? Working either with an attorney or one of the online programs, or if you want to try and do it yourself. So we talked about all that. We talked about sales tax and Schedule C income tax because as a business owner, he's now going to be responsible for those sales tax and income tax at the end of the year. We also helped him with the business plan and financial projections, helped him in finding a location, mainly by tapping into other resources. A lot of times I will send people over to the Main Street program, to Amy Moyner. She probably has a better handle on what locations are in downtown than I do. There are also some realtors in the area that know of some rental locations. And then sometimes I'll just say to the person, jump in your car and drive around town. You might see a sign somewhere that there's a space opened up. So the result, and again, it took a little bit to work through all of this. It wasn't an overnight thing that happened, but he was able to get a $6,000 startup loan. It was through a credit union. That's okay. That's where he was established with the credit union. And he was able to open up his own shop, buy the equipment he needed. And he doesn't have any other chair rentals in there, just himself. So very good project and very happy for him. So those are just 3 examples of things that we do. And honestly, sometimes that confidentiality hurts our marketing efforts. We just can't throw that information out on Facebook or out on a web page. We really do rely on referrals. So that's how people really get to know that we're available. We have clients, lenders, chambers, Main Street, SEC folks, business groups, even other SBDC personnel back and forth will refer people. So we really do rely on that referral network for people to know that we exist and that we're here to help them. So I do want to share a few other things that we do. Our network, we do other things than just the counseling part of it. We are connected with other resources, other programs. Shop Iowa. Shop Iowa came about during COVID. Actually, it was a project of the Iowa Department of Economic Development to open up an online store for brick and mortar businesses and people with an online business. The creator of Shop Iowa is actually an SBDC client from Cedar Rapids. And her platform has really kind of, since this time now, has gone across the nation. So it's kind of a neat story there. We also did photo boxes along with that. A photo box, to me, it looks like a solar oven. that you can put your product in and take pictures of. And you could use those pictures then on your online store, Facebook, website. And I believe that Amy has a photo box that's available for anyone. I have a photo box here in my office. We delivered them to the chambers in the area, the Main Street programs, extension offices, city clerks, and libraries. So all of these folks in the 4 counties have photo boxes that are available for people to use. Use them. It really does enhance your photographs. We have a mobile unit that we use for events. We have a gentleman that might go around and be present at various events. We really do support the Small Business Saturday. It's such a great program, and I know that we've done that here in Burlington and around the area. We work with the Iowa Secretary of State during the Iowa State Fair. The Secretary of State actually has a booth set up at the Varied Industry Building, and we work with their personnel and talk about SBDC programs and different things that the Secretary of State can do for them. Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. I love this program. And I really encourage any of you business owners, if you want to grow your business, take advantage of this program. We've had this program in Iowa now for about 4 years, I believe. The program is free. Think of it as an MBA on steroids. The program is designed for you to take classes. You're going to do some homework. You're going to be in a group with other business people, not necessarily in your industry, but other business people. You'll find out that they have probably the same pain that you have. But the whole idea is to put together a growth plan for your business. And we have had Ann March from our area, from Bark and Play, take the program. We've had Jenny Steffensmeyer from Steffenmeyer Welding take the program. Matt Hayes from Dodds Printing. Ronald Corilla from Mount Pleasant just completed the program last year, and he actually went to Washington, D.C. this like a month ago for a Goldman Sachs reunion in Washington, D.C. to really showcase the businesses and the people taking the class. So that was quite an honor for him. Tammy Keller from Port Louisa Transit Authority also took the class. And I've never heard anyone say, gosh, I wish I never took this class. They've all been very happy with taking it and learned from it and are growing their businesses. So I can't say enough good things about the program. It's a great program. I'd be happy to share more information with you. We have a Rural Business Innovator program. It is for people that have an invention, that have a product that they want to take it from idea to commercialization. In fact, this morning I just talked with someone on the phone, and I'm going to refer him to the Rural Business Innovator program because they will do a much better job at taking where he's at with this idea and turning it into commercialization. We do a lot of educational events, forums, roundtables. Before COVID, I had with Joe Eckert from SBA, we had a SWAG, Stellar Women Achieving Greatness. And we just got together and talked about small business. Where are your pain points? What's working really well? What advice do you have for other people? We just sat and talked. And so we did that, but we haven't done anything with that post-COVID. But perhaps maybe that's something that we can look into in the future. We, as an SBDC group, we do business spotlights of various clients. Great marketing opportunity for our clients to get their business out there. We do a Business of the Month award. I've had 2 or 3 people in our area that have received those awards. We do annual awards with the SBA, like the picture I'd shown earlier with our state director and the woman from WIN Industries. That's pretty cool. And I'm very excited about the awards that we do every year at the state capitol with the governor and the legislators. We have the Deb Delzell Award for a woman entrepreneur, and we have the Neil Smith Award. We've had 3 winners for the Deb Dalzell Award. We've had Martha Wolf and Sue Saunders from the Ivy Bake Shop, both of them. We had Doreen Roy from Red Screen Door and Gypsy. And we've had Sally Nichols from Burlington and Bloom. And it's so fun to have them out on the legislative floor receiving an award, and all that information is put into the history books in the Capitol at Iowa. It's recorded in history that they had won this award. So it's really a neat honor. They get to have their picture taken with the governor and the governor's office, and just really a fun event. So we do those awards every year, usually in the wintertime. So it's always a fun day to troops across to the Capitol when it's 20 below zero. So that's a little bit of other things that we do as an SBDC network. I'm just going to leave you with a couple pictures. I do have permission from these folks to show their pictures. We have Port Louisa Transport up in Louisa County. We have Barbie Jackson and Brandy Hamlin from Wake and Bake. That picture was before Wake and Bake is what it is today. So it's kind of a fun picture. And they had won an award from the Greater Burlington Partnership in the business plan contest. And then in the right-hand corner, we have Ronald and Molly Carrillo from Mount Pleasant that has a cleaning business. And that Ronald just recently got back from Washington, D.C. For the Goldman Sachs Award. So just a little, I had to leave you with that. I wish I had more. I wish I had time to have more. I wish I could go out and interview and take pictures of all those great businesses out there, because you guys are really the ones that you guys make my job really fun. And I love to see these kind of successes out there. So again, this is just my contact information. I do have a Facebook page just for our center here in Southeast Iowa. I'm that. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yeah, so good question. When should someone come see or make an appointment with the SBDC? I do make appointments just because I have to keep a schedule because I might be in Mount Pleasant one day, I might be in Louisa County another day. When should someone come see me? You don't have to really get started on your business plan. You can come in and see me before you start your business plan. Maybe you just have some questions and you're just wondering, should I even pursue this business? Is this something I should do? So really anytime we're available to talk with folks anytime. The one thing that I probably cannot do, and I've had the question asked of me, what businesses are needed in Burlington? And I really can't give you an answer because I don't know what you're passionate about. I don't know what you really love to do or what you would like to do as a business. So I'm probably not going to answer that question for you. I'm going to say, wow, what do you like? What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? Do you have a side hobby that you can turn into a full-time business? So I'm not going to give you a direct answer on that one. Great question. Yeah. So is a business viable? So it's a great question. And I really like to work with clients on that when they first come in. What I like to do to find out if it's viable is just to do a quick financial projection. And so I'll ask them, I'll say, well, have you looked into any of the costs for what it's going to cost you to do a business? Because we all have different taste in our cost. Some of us like Cadillacs, some of us like Volkswagens or used cars. So I don't know where you want to be in your business. So if you have an idea of your cost, we'll go ahead and put your cost into a projection, and I'll look and put in a sales number of what would be a break-even number. And I'll say, well, in order to support these costs that you've just given me, here's where you should be break even. Now, that doesn't take into account if we're getting a loan or anything like that, because then we'll have to have more in sales. But at least a business owner can look at that and go, yeah, I think I can do that. Or, no, I don't think I can do that. So it gives the business owner, I'm not going to decide that for them. They have to make that decision for them. But that is just one tool that I think works really well to find out if a business is viable. Yeah, that's a great question. What should someone have ready when they come in? Again, it kind of depends on the person. So usually when I talk to them, I'll say, bring your questions. Definitely bring the questions that you have. Some people have questions written down. Some people just have them off the cuff. It depends on if are they coming in to actually sit down and they have a business plan ready to go. I'll ask them to email me the business plan so I can look at it ahead of time, so I can make some notes on it and to give some suggestions. If it's financial, then I'll ask them to bring their cost, what they've gathered, and we'll work on a financial report. So bottom line is, it really depends on where you're at with your business and what you're wanting. Sometimes I'll have people come in and they say they just want to talk. It might be just an issue that they're having in their business, or here's an idea. I want to add this to my business offerings. What else do I need to do to get this ball rolling? So, yeah, good question. Thanks. Do your research, do your homework. I really, I'm going to be very honest. Sometimes my heart is sad when or scared when I see a business I've just kind of opened. I'm like, oh, I don't know who that is. I hope they have everything in order, because you don't want to go into the business not having things in order. It can get you in trouble down the road, whether it's tax trouble, whether it's customer trouble, product trouble. There's all kinds of things that can happen. It's just so much better to have your research done. One of the things we do offer as an SBDC too is market research. It's secondary research. It's already research or reports that are out there, but I'll use them a lot of times in comparing a financial. So I can get information on, the landscape industry. These are their numbers, their cost of goods, their employee wage rate, their whatever, their overhead. And then we can compare it to the numbers that the client brought me that we're putting together, because we want to make sure that they're realistic and they're within the ballpark. So that is one of the services that we can offer to our clients. Nope, just we're here to help you. If it's something that I can't help you with, I have 14 other people that I can contact in the state. And I have a whole army out there in the 50 states of other people I can contact. I have made some connections over the years with various people in different states, so that's always fun. And there's a lot of resources out there for you. There's never say never say no. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm happy to meet with you, and I really do love and enjoy seeing everyone and seeing their successes. No, it doesn't cost any money. And again, we do not want to take away from the accounting people and the attorneys, the tax people. I want businesses to use those people, because they're only going to help their business grow and continue to grow and to stay in the good. But we're here to offer that service. And I hope some days too that I just offer some encouragement to people, because it's been tough. Business has been tough in the last couple of years. It's been tough being an employee the last couple of years. So if I can add a little bit of encouragement to people and have them leave with a smile on their face, then it's well worth it.
Thank you, Janine, for all the information and insights about the Small Business Development Center and the services and resources offered. Please join us on September 14th when we welcome Sergeant Chad Zahn of the Burlington Police Department, who will help us learn more about protecting ourselves and our businesses from theft, burglary, robbery, and fraud. Have a great day.
Thank you.